Hello, hi, and welcome back. If you are new here, I am Vaibhavi, also known as Momotai, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it brings you some joy or it motivates you to bring out your art supplies and paint. In this video, I'll be making a portrait with oil paints and I will be talking you through some tips and tricks that I have learned in the last few months that have really helped me improve my painting skills very quickly. So grab yourself a bottle of water and let's get started. I really enjoy painting portraits of real as well as imaginary people because I often build stories around the person that I am painting. Who are they? Where are they from? How are they feeling in this moment? It helps me feel more connected and in tune with the subject. And while I build complex storylines for them in my head, the process of painting actually follows some pretty simple steps. I usually start with finding a reference. If it's a commission, the images are usually provided by the client and we pick one that would best suit the painting. If I'm making it for myself as practice, I take either of two approaches. One, a picture or subject catches my eye and I pick up aspects of it that I like and build a painting based on that. Or I already have an idea in mind and then I would go out and find references or click pictures that can, you know, support me in realizing my vision. And I prefer using multiple references so I can collage together different pieces or aspects of um, paintings or pictures or objects that I like and put them together into something that is my own. I usually don't go for very fancy materials. I just try to get a good value for the price that I'm paying. For example, I usually buy like packs of brushes from my local art stores because brushes usually get worn out pretty quickly when you're doing oil painting. So I prefer not to invest in them so much because even if you are following proper practices and cleaning them frequently, oil paint does get through your brushes much faster. The paints that I'm using right now are Winsor and Newton oil paints and I love them. They're so smooth, they don't smell weird and they don't stain my fingers or my hands and I love that. In terms of mediums, there are a lot of options and choices. I prefer using Liquin, uh, which is also by Winsor and Newton because it thins out the paint and also makes it dry faster. Right now you can see me painting on a canvas sheet that I have taped to my easel. Otherwise you can also use wood, MDF boards, canvas boards, stretched canvas, anything. Just make sure to prepare the surface for the painting with gesso or acrylic paint or primer. I personally prefer using either 2 coats of gesso or 1 coat of gesso and another one of acrylic paint using a complementary color to the picture that I'm going to paint. I usually start the painting with a loose wash of burnt umber or burnt sienna unless I have a base color painted, which I didn't here. Uh, and then I draw the subject enough to have some scale and proportions right, and I fill in the shadow parts to demarcate the light and dark values of the painting, not worrying much about the colors that are to come later. And I try to keep this sketch monochrome and devoid of any kind of finicky details. As you can see, I filled in the background here. I usually do that. Even if I end up changing it later, it helps uh, me give a better idea of whether the painting is working or not from quite an early stage. You can also see me color blocking here, which means that I mark out different areas or planes of the face using different colors. Usually I use a middle color, which is neither the brightest or the darkest that I can go in that area. This helps me figure out the color composition and differentiate the planes of the face and add more structure. I use a limited color palette, usually 3 to 4 colors plus white, because I don't like using the color black in my paintings. I feel it's a very dead color and that it doesn't bring a lot of personality or vibrancy to the painting. So I prefer mixing my own blacks wherever I feel like using them. If you can also see, I'm not working at like one specific spot to make it perfect before moving on to another part of the painting. I like working in different places at once so that my painting is progressing at an even rate. It's not that I have perfectly finished eyes and everything else just looks like clay. If I'm working on multiple spots at once, it is easier to ensure that there is some color harmony and also so that it looks more cohesive. If you notice, I will also usually work from dark to light colors because it's much easier to make a dark color lighter than to make a light color dark without making it muddy. And I also like working from thin to thick, which is how you're supposed to work in oil paintings. This means that the layer that is closest to the canvas is the thinnest layer. It could be thinned out with what I used like liquid, or you can use mineral spirits, but as you put on subsequent layers, you use less and less medium so that the consistency of the paint is thicker. It is important to do this so that all layers of the painting are able to dry properly so that your painting does not crack on you later, which does happen sometimes in oil paintings if they aren't done properly. Also, it's very important to add the brightest highlights of the painting in the absolute end, because if we use too many bright colors right in the beginning, then the painting or the subject ends up looking a bit washed out, like an overexposed image. So we don't want to do that, and we want it to look realistic, and we want it to look like there's some actual light coming on the subject and it's not the subject that is very light colored. I will allow this painting to be completely dry to touch, which usually takes 3 to 4 days in this kind of hot weather, and then I will apply retouch varnish to protect my painting and to make sure that the colors look vibrant. Hello and welcome to the end of the video. If you want to come along with me on this journey of improving my artwork, please consider subscribing to my newsletter, because that is where I will be sharing all the progress pictures behind the scenes, tips and tricks for improving your artwork, and I will also be sharing upcoming art events and cool Indian artists that I follow. I will also be sharing coupons and about any upcoming sales or new products that are on my website through the newsletter. So you get like first hand information, fastest delivery.
in your inbox. So subscribe to that, and thank you for staying till the end. If you liked this video, if you found it informative, or if it just made you happy, consider liking and subscribing to the channel. And if you have any questions, suggestions, anything, feel free to drop them in the comments below. I don't care if you just want to tell me what your favorite subject for painting is. I don't care what it is that you're telling me, as long as you're in the comments and talking to me, because I need validation. If you like my artwork in this video, or in general from my Instagram, where basically I share too many pictures of my artwork, if you like any of that stuff, it is available on my website, and all of the links that I'm mentioning to Instagram, for the newsletter, for the shop, everything will be in the description below. Even the materials that I have used, I have linked them in the description below in case you're interested. And now for the final reminder: to drink water and stay hydrated. Take care of yourself. Bye bye.